All right, good afternoon, 1226 on this 11th day here of June on this Thursday, Friday Eve. How's everybody doing? I know some of you just now get notifications. Come on in, have a chat, have a seat. Several things to discuss on this Thursday. I'm Wave Meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to Storm Talk today, as we are going to be covering, of course, the storm chances, and they're very scattered about as we head through the next couple of days. And there's some bonuses, too, mixed in all this, some positive things to point out. So a lot of you may have a lot of plans in place to get you through the next several days. So timing is everything, right? Fair enough. As always, you guys can comment on the social media side, Twitch, X, YouTube, and Facebook, if you want to join in on the conversation. Something a little different here, as those that are still logging on and checking in with us. Just a quick update. Some of you probably are not able to see this because you may not even have power at the moment, but there is a power setup going on right now where it's a little confusing on the details. We know at least a line is down according to Duke Energy, but we may know that a substation may be involved. We got a crew on the way there now into Floyd County and around New Albany, but you can see several folks are without power. In fact, into Floyd itself, Wavy was one of the first to pop in with alert on that. More than 10% of the county, more than 4,800 customers right now have no power. They're into Floyd. And even in Clark, I don't know if it's directly related to the same setup there, but in Clark, update there, about 1%, about 900 or so customers without power. So again, yeah, Brad saying it was a brush fire caused by the line. Yeah, there could be multiple things going on. The line may be the catalyst, and that may have led to other issues. But just know that if you're watching on your cell tower right now, on streaming on your phone, just know that they are definitely aware of it, and they are working on it. All right. So again, we have a crew on the way there, and we'll keep you posted as this evolves here for the rest of the afternoon. All right. So we'll continue to have updates on this throughout the afternoon hours, and especially when we get some of our cameras to point in direction, which at the moment we don't. We'll come back around to that here in a second. Looking live right now at our highs yesterday, you know, we hit 90 again. Our second 90-degree day of the year made it to 92. So we've had a 91 and a 92. I think we may have a good chance to make it at yet another 90-degree day the way it's looking. 86 right now in Louisville, 88 in Jeffersonville, 81 into North Vernon. But humidity, I mean, yes, it's down a few notches compared to what we had earlier on. But if we end up with moisture level is climbing again back into those mid to upper 70s, let me know, and we'll pass that along as for the new heat index values. Hold on one second, guys. Something I want to check on real quick. Let's see. Or sorry about that. We're checking on a couple of things with the power setup there again into Floyd County. So thank you, Brad. Keep the reports coming as you hear things. We'll pass those along to the to our newsroom. But again, we do have crews on the way. Okay, lower to mid dew points. So what does that make it feel like when you combine the two together? 92 outside for feels like 91 in Hardensburg. Got 90 down to the south into Marion County area as well. The drought index, I do want to show that. That did update today. And while that still did not cover a good chunk of the rain that we had when it was sampled, it still isn't a bad setup. It's just very odd that this section here of southeastern Marion, parts of Adair and Taylor, you guys just can't seem to get enough to get caught up with another a round of rain to get you out of that drought status. So just kind of FYI, that's something we'll watch. But you certainly are the key part in wave country that needs the most of the rain. Everyone else, while you still have a low end drought status, again, some of this does not include the heavy rain we recently had. So I think this will be an improved look in the next update. And obviously, Indiana and Louisville is in fine shape because of that as of late. So just want to do a quick update in case you guys were wondering. We did have a little band of showers and storms. We were tracking it last night. They moved in into Indiana. We had a little bit of rain as I was rolling in. This morning, we had some light showers right around Louisville. It was just enough to get some dots on the windshield, and that was about it. I don't think it was even measurable. And then it faded away, but it left behind. See the wispy clouds? That's the actual... Those are the debris clouds themselves that we're talking about that are over from Indiana, northern Kentucky, from the morning round of storms. So that's mainly just the wispy nature to them. Those will eventually just fade out. This is all heat-based, the more popcorny looking clouds, little pieces of cotton, if you will, in Kentucky. That's just general rising motion of the afternoon heat. It's another day, though. You can't rule out one or two that could grow into a downpour. That's certainly possible. Most of you will not have to worry about that. But with an outflow from this morning, at least hanging out here, I always get suspected at. We call these differential boundaries, where you can get sometimes a little bit of a kick, and that may help you in getting a thunderstorm. So if I were to highlight any area where that would be possible, I think it'd be roughly right in that area around central Kentucky, maybe even close to Louisville, possibly. That's a very low end chance on that. But sometimes if you're going to get a little surprise, it'll boop, it will come from a setup that'll be similar to that. But otherwise, just a hot and humid afternoon. But boy, look at this mess. Oh, this is not fun. Another MCS heading towards Chicago after blowing out windows in downtown Chicago yesterday. They're back at it again. And in fact, let me take you into a closer view, and you can see the little curl of the MCV. There's actually two MCVs embedded in this. A lot of spin and motion going on, and likely will be a third later on today. But right now, it's just that Boeing segment of wind heading to Rockford, Illinois. Looks like they're going to need another watch box here before long, heading towards Chicago. But anyway, that's all heading into Madison. And we do have let's get right into Madison. You can see that MCV is just now pushing in. I showed you a hint of that camera a second ago. Let me show you what it looks like now. And the gnats are, if you have a bug phobia, it's probably not what you want to look at. Because everyone's like, I cannot see anything about clouds because all I see is something terrifying and I'm going to have nightmares. I'm assuming those are gnats or little baby millipedes, silverfish. I don't know what they are. Anyway, there's the approach of the shelf cloud behind all that in the distance, heading right toward the camera lens. It'll get more dramatic as time goes on. Ugh. Okay, we don't really want to look at that, do we? I don't think so. All right. I promise I'll at least check back in later. But that is where not only do they have the current severe risk they're watching, but they also have the moderate risk that is out for Illinois as we are tracking that setup from Chicago all the way down into around Peoria today. And it will likely be a setup that could feature some strong tornadoes in a few cases. So that's something that Storm Chasers, I'm sure, will be all over today. And it extends all the way down to St. Louis. Again, this has been the tornado alley for most of the season, right? It's been in the Midwest this year. This is yesterday's little wave. It's already snuck by. It's going to kick up a few gusty storms in the mid-Atlantic. And notice we do have the category drop here. Anytime you see that, that's a sign, well, two things. One, of a weakening trend in the front, and two, that you run out of time, because this is going to be about the 8 a.m. cutoff on the outlook for day one to end before they go to day two. So in this case, we know that we're going to be at the very end of the outlook. So this is going to be an after midnight, but it does drop down categories. So that is a good sign that we're going to get the leftovers of whatever forms there into the Midwest for today. And then we pick up tomorrow, skips over us basically, and then powers up as we head into Friday afternoon well to our east. We're in a good spot for that little skip over to happen to avoid any of the weather drama with that front and severe weather. Let's look at Futurecast. And this is certainly showing a lot of fuel. I mean, obviously, you got dew points in the 70s, you got a lot of fuel, and you're heating it up. So a lot of that gold color is showing up. And don't really see a hint of really anything that forms. Again, a lot of cumulus. But meanwhile, as we look to the top left of your screen, there's the clock showing about 8:30, 9:30. And there's the storms rolling in after a very busy late afternoon evening for them into Illinois. This is just one model's idea, by the way. The reality of this will kind of adjust a bit more coming up in a few minutes. As it slides to south and east at 11 o'clock, we get into 11 o'clock news. It should be around Indianapolis, or at least close by in the vicinity of. And then the tail of it slowing down a bit. So that creates a little bit more of a east-west nature to the front versus a very slanted look that it has now on the radar image. It'll begin to tilt just a bit. Then we continue on. Here we are at 3 in the morning, give or take an hour. It does certainly weaken because you can tell that there's a separation here. So you're going to get some cold pooling out from the main line. Once it happens, yeah, the line's done. Not as much cold pooling around Paducah. So this could still be severe in Paducah and southeast Missouri, even at 3 in the morning. They could still have some decent wind and maybe even a few severe thunderstorm warnings that continue there. But we see the separation a little bit more evident, at least on Futurecast, around Indiana and northern Kentucky. So that would mean a significant weakening trend. But some rain. You may have some rain when you walk out the door early in the morning for tomorrow. That continues to fade out on the northern side especially. We get into 12 noon. The front is roughly through here. But it's so overcast, you can't build up any more energy for the showers and storms to redevelop. It's got to wait until it gets into the gold area again, where the heat does have better opportunity to take hold. And that's why the slight risk for tomorrow is way east. So for us, just a cloudy sky through about lunch. But what you don't see here is some nice old refreshing air. Dew points are on the way down, a little bit of a breeze. And the blue sky will flow right into our area, northwest to southeast. It's going to be a very nice afternoon and certainly a very pleasant night. We're dropping down into the 50s for your Friday night. That will lead to a beautiful looking Saturday. Now, I say beautiful in terms of lower humidity compared to today, but it will still be humid enough to where you're going to feel it. But it will be still a nice little reset. And highs could get close to 90 still. So it's still going to be a hot day. I just don't want you to walk out thinking it's going to be like a 70-degree Canadian day outside. No, it won't be like that on Saturday. But it will not be as stifling as what we had in place for today in the past couple of days, really. So you can even see the sinking air that happens right over the Ohio Valley. So that buys us one day. Once we into later Saturday night into Sunday, well, it builds right back in again. And as that happens, here comes the MCSs and that flow, humidity. Again, they love humidity. So we had our humidity knocked down a few notches during the day on Saturday. So it's unlikely it's going to charge very far east initially. It's going to likely dive more southeast. So if you are along and west, let me get rid of my pen markings, along the west of 65 in Kentucky, you may be a little bit more prone to that first wave that drops in for later Saturday night, because I think the profiles should still be just a smidge too dry to support anything over us. So we could, and we should, get in another evening. Not as pleasant as Friday evening, but still not a bad setup. So you get a good 24 hours is what I'm trying to say to enjoy a quiet period. Once we get into Sunday, well, that's when we get into the showers and storms that will start to take over early on Sunday morning, and the humidity becomes a little more widespread. And then we may have another complex that will ride along that wave and move in Sunday afternoon. The exact timing on the storms for Sunday, we do not have yet. So bear with us. It's only Thursday, but I have a feeling we're going to have to fine tune that. It's all based on these little complexes that will roll down. So we need a little bit more time to fine tune that. But I'm thinking right now, by the looks of this, if we get rain Sunday morning, it probably would be a late afternoon window for the second round of storms. Could it be strong? Possibly. There's no outlook for severe weather, but I wouldn't rule out some organization to it anyway as we into Sunday. So just get your outdoor stuff done on Saturday. All right, rainfall for the front moving in on Friday, just for the front for late tonight from Chicago that I just showed you. The closer you are to when the front arrives, the more you can get out of it. And that's maybe a half inch, maybe. The further you are away from the front as it is weakening and falling apart, the less you're going to get, if anything. So the rain totals drop off. Again, the spots that needed the most of that drought likely again skipped the way this is looking here. All right. So let me give you a snapshot of the weekend real quick, and then I'll get to some of your questions before I get into the next week setup there. 88 again for the high. Could push 90 on Saturday. I'm not going to rule it out. Just not as stifling outside. But Sunday, it'll be waves of thunderstorms. Not a washout of a day, just waves of storms. There will be some dry time on Sunday, but there will also be a lot of clouds. So it's going to be hard for the needle to move very much. All right, let's check in on real quick on our camera. Did someone say there were sugar? What were they? Sugar flies? Is that what someone said? Let's look in Madison, Wisconsin here. I don't think it's quite hit. It's getting a little more obscured. It may have already hit over the camera, but I'm thinking there's still a bit of a light gray. So I'm thinking still right through here, pushing in. Those are called sugar flies. Did I see that right? I know you get what mayflies, right, along the water. Too, as you get into the Great Lakes, you run into those a lot. Very sugar flies is what Rusty said there. All right. We get a lot of the bugs in the camera here. Spiders mainly take care of that. We get gnats sometimes, but we do get bugs on the camera. Yeah, we've had wasps. We definitely had some birds. We get a lot of weird things, especially with our cameras being so high up. So high up. Okay, everyone seems okay. Good. All right, so let's move on to the next week's setup. As we are dealing still with Sunday's little complexes of storms will be rolling in, right? And there's that little pocket of dry air on Saturday. So let's advance this into Sunday. You see the front moving in, showers and storms diving in from the northwest. I'm thinking it maybe just one round. I mean, the morning round I think is fair. Maybe one more after that, and that should do it for this front. But it has a good chance to move all the way through. But that is an absolutely key part of the forecast, is it's got to move through to give us another reset for early next week. And if this holds up, if we can indeed get this to push all the way down to I-20, two things will happen that we've been alluding to. One, that tropical moisture, that wave that the Hurricane Center is watching in the Western Gulf, which minor issue overall, it's just a tropical rain supplier, really. It's going to trap a lot of that very heavy rainfall into I-20 because the front on Sunday looks like it's going to get far enough away from us to block it. Now, the question is, do we get the chance to enjoy another round of refreshing air, low humidity, maybe some sunshine? It's possible. We're going to go with that idea. We're going to go glass half full and go with upper 70s, low 80s. Should feel good. This will be Monday and Tuesday. After that, we run into another issue. Instead of watching all these surges of tropical moisture coming from the south, we got to start paying attention because now we've really shifted everything down a bit on the map. And now that we got to pay a lot of attention to what's going on to the north. And there is a strong low that is moving in the northern interior of the country, and that arrives at some point on Thursday. You'll start to see the Cape build up as we into Wednesday, the humidity, and there we go on Thursday. Now, this is just the op run of the Euro. It still needs some more data to roll in, and some are not all in agreement on this, on placement of where this low will be, but there's at least some general support of a low pressure that will be moving through the Great Lakes. And if it moves in during max heating on Thursday, this will have a tailpipe, and that could then lead to a severe risk that could develop for the Ohio River Valley or only in Chicago as we head into about a week from today. So it's on our list of items that we're monitoring. But guess what? After it moves by, could we reset again? It's possible. At least a brief reset may happen before we reload and back into the tropical moisture again. It's interesting how this keeps playing out, and has been for a while. If you saw the summer outlook, this is why we have below normal temperatures for part of the Great Lakes in the Northeast, as constant fronts moving in. And I'm hoping this will keep us out of drought, but it may keep heat waves limited to only 2 or 3 days at a time. So I don't think it's a bad deal, really, to be honest. I think it's pretty fair. You get some pool time, you get some nice weather days mixed in there, back and forth. So it's just all about timing now. Now it's the frustrating part. When do we get either type, so you know when to go camping, when to be outside, or when planning indoor chores kind of stuff. So that stuff's on us to get you updated on timing. That'll be more of a challenge because these fronts still got some good speed to them. Hey, Tammy, not going to snow, is it? Don't think it's going to snow, at least here, but it won't be long. It won't be long. Can't be soon enough, is what I say. All right, here's the entire 10-day. We're working on it now to kind of fine-tune, but in general, I think this is fair. Mentioned the weekend. Next week, we're hoping this little reset happens Monday and Tuesday after the Sunday front to trap that tropical moisture down south. But then you see the general increase in storms again next Thursday. And if it's strong enough on Thursday, the plus side to that, that'd be the only one, would be that it would allow for another reset for maybe Friday and that Saturday. We don't have that displayed in the 10-day right now because we're not sure on where that low will be. We're allowing some buffer time here. But if confidence grows, it's mainly a Thursday event and it's strong enough. Yes, there could be a strong storm risk with that. But if it's strong enough, then that would certainly improve the weekend following that, which would be the first weekend of summer officially on the map. All right. Fair. Everyone good? Everyone good? Any questions? Anyone excited about winter? Are you done with summer? Are you over it already? You're like, done. I'm done with this. Let's just bring on October, pumpkin spice. Let's get back to snow as quickly as we can. I'm actually enjoying this season so far. I really am glad to see that, at least for now, we're avoiding drought issues. I really was worried about that because, yard work is a lot, as you guys know. You go out there and landscape and you spend money on annuals. I go crazy over perennials because I like the whole repeating idea. But annuals, sometimes you have to do to get a lot of color because perennials don't always have the prettiest flowers. Yeah, you really want some help on that. Hey, 0 meter chasers there. How you doing? We got a chaser going to Illinois for that moderate risk. Mike is heading up there. All right, so check them out on X. They're heading up there today. I'm not sure if they're going to be streaming or not, Mike, but I'm sure it'll be on your X channel, I believe. Let us know. Really ready for snow? Everyone says they're ready for snow. And those that say they're not ready for it, you've already been blocked. Sorry. Let me see. Sean, got to block you. Got to block you. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing y'all. It's good pool weather. I just wish I had a pool. I did get into the pond the other day to shoot some video that I'll show you all soon. But I got into the pond and actually it was refreshing. Just a little scary to swim in the pond with Gary because Gary tends to bite. And he's not mean. He's just very curious. So sometimes my toes look like worms, I think, when I'm in the water. So he makes me a little nervous in there. But it's kind of cool to swim with the koi and the fish. And it's crystal clear, which I love. I don't feel like it's a dirty setup. Kelly, hey, Stephanie. Sorry. Kelly, get me your comment real quick. Tornado potential tonight for our area. No, it's running out of gas. So there's not anything to really create a low level spin at that point. They're too far away from the source on it. Sunday, not going to roll it out. Anytime you get MCS, you got to kind of watch those features. And then next Thursday, we'll watch it. but we're not really in the full-on tailpipe environment like Chicago and Midwest has been lately. More of a concern for them. That's for sure. Worm toes. Y'all are weird. All right, but I love y'all. For some reason, I love y'all. All right, look, I got to go. It was a short one today. We're going to keep an eye on the power outage there in Floyd County, and we'll have more and that than other days' headlines, and of course, an updated look at your 10-day, all that and more coming up today at 3 o'clock. I'll see you then.